Hello, welcome back guys to the channel. This is Maverick, and right now we're going to be watching episode 19 of Fairy Gone. So, last episode, pretty much Recalling was wiped out, right? With the death of EJ, Dorothea managed to secure the remaining Black Fairy Tomb, and we're in the process of transferring back, where then it got promptly intercepted by Wolfran and company, right? And also beyond that, it seems that everybody is here for the party, right? Because not only Dorothea is here, we got Three and Maria, but Wolfram is here, Veronica is here as well, and we also got a sweetie waiting in the shadows, right? So everybody's welcome to join the party here. On that note, though, I guess the biggest cliffhanger from last episode is the fact that the guy working with Wolfram is actually using Oz's fairy, right? So I do kind of suspect that maybe this will start to tie into, what the Black Fairy Tomb entails, some dark secrets that can involve the manipulation of fairies and whatnot. In any case, let's get into the episode to find out. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Animation. Yes, that is Wolfran Row. Yes, that is Oz's fairy. And who's that? Why is this guy confronting her, though? Like, what's the purpose of that? I mentioned last episode that it almost seemed like they were taunting them. Like, honestly, they literally could have waited until, they transported the fairy tomb a bit further away from the main forces before doing anything. Okay, it's losing control, I guess. So whatever method they use to control it doesn't really work. Or... Ooh, fairy on fairy. Okay, looks like we're not having an opening this episode. This is the opening. Ashclad? Is that the name of its move? No, it's not listening to you. Oh. Fairy's gone loose. This is literally like spirits passing on or something. Who are you anyways? And why are you doing this? Like, why were you even here? Never mind. What? Is he going to suicide him? No? Hmm. Yeah, the rest of the Black Fairy tombs are with the Ministry of Fairies. Hmm. But why would they literally do this and use a fairy that could obviously be traced? I don't. I mean, you have all these fairies that you can use, and you choose to use Oz's one, which the people of Dorothea would obviously know who it's by. Veronica? Oh. Hmm. That's probably what the Black Fairy Tome. Well, actually, no. I think they were calling the Black Fairy Tome as some sort of doomsday weapon. So I guess this phenomenon. Okay. Really? Now that's an awfully convenient power. If she can nullify all fairy soldiers? Right. So these are all fairy possessed. That's probably also why Radon wanted to kill, or completely wipe out Suna. Yeah, Radon probably figured that out. And then they're a little bit late to the party. Oh, at least she's being fairly positive about this whole thing. See, the thing I don't understand about this is, even if Wolfram did not do this, the Black Fairy Tomb would still be transferred to the Ministry of Fairies. So what was the point of this? Like, Dorothea were literally transporting this exact fairy tomb to the Ministry of Fairies. What? Just sand. And that's where Sweetie Sauter went to investigate, right? Ray Dawn, probably. Ooh. 'Why would you be trusted, though?' 'Oh, this is fairly quick and easy.' 'Okay. Finally, he's saying what he really wants, what he truly thinks about this, what he's fighting for. 'I mean, I'm glad that they actually gave the Prime Minister his just due, because I always thought that he was actually a pretty good dude, considering, you know, the entire stuff leading up to, right, during the War of Unification. Then he did everything. He was basically the biggest winner, but he still ceded his position to the Emperor of Zessia, and instead was Prime Minister. So he didn't overthrow the actual, you know, royal family. I mean, it's clear that he's still working, like, you know, as the top dog, right? But still, I do believe that the Prime Minister was a pretty good guy.
期間移植手術を受けた。名誉っていうか、要するに国を救う英雄になりたかった。軽い気持ちだったわけじゃねえけど、それが当たり前だと思って。
実際は大変だった。
戦争だからな。そりゃ楽しいもんじゃない。
フリーの妖精も戦うしかなくて、戦いながら心の底では泣いていたのかもしれないですね。ごめんなさい、変なこと言っちゃって。けど誰だって戦争の道具になんかなりたくない。
俺たちの妖精もか。
らしいとか間違ってるとか私にはわからないけど、心で泣きながら目を上げながら誰かを殺すなんておかしい。
そうだな。俺たち妖精兵は戦争の兵器だった。国のため、大義のため、人を殺した。
そのおかげで戦争は終わったんですよね。
だといいんだが、俺みたいなやつはもういらないんだ。戦うしか能がない。所詮
I actually really like this scene. This is something that I feel,
戦いを望んでいないなら
actually talking about their beliefs and convictions and whatnot.
戦争の道具じゃない。兵器なんかじゃない。でも、もしそこに戦いがあるなら、やらせないと。
In a much more mature way than
そのためなら
they did before.
妖精も
Sort of like dancing around the issue and whatnot.
気がするんです。
Now, if only they could have done this a bit earlier than episode 19 of the series. Alright, they're probably in that basement thing, aren't they?
局長。裏口と周辺はすでにリリーたちが固めています。逃げようとした者は実力を行使してこれを阻止します。
それでいい。捕まえるのはマルコ・ベルウッドとクリフ・マーサーですね。他にも仲間がいるかもしれん。我々への協力を拒む者、抵抗する者、怪しい素振りを見せる者はことごとく逮捕しろ。またそれ以外の職員も私が許可するまで妖精省から一歩も出すな。我々は血をいとわない。妖精を利用して統一ゼスキアの平穏を乱そうとする不貞の輩は断じて許さん。我々ドロテアは任務を遂行する。
I assume there's gonna be a surprise waiting for them. Well, there we go. I'll see you guys after the ending. Alrighty, so there were good things as well as bad things within this episode. So let's start with the more negative things first, right? Because honestly, some of the actions here made absolutely no sense at all. And the biggest question I have is, why did Wolfran and his subordinate try to intercept the Black Fairy tomb and reveal themselves in that, in that kind of manner, right? Because there's literally no need for that. I was thinking that, okay, maybe they were working for a third force. In that case, and if that was the case, then I've already mentioned this in the last episode, they had no reason to intercept the truck literally right next to the main Dorothea forces, right? They could have easily gotten reinforcements and whatnot. They should have waited until it was out, the truck was out in the countryside or whatnot, and then ambush it there. No reinforcements, lots of plenty of places to ambush them from, and plenty of places to escape to. That made no sense, right? And it even made less sense when it's revealed that they're working with the Ministry of Fairies. Because, like I said, Dorothea were literally transporting it to the Ministry of Fairies, right? Do keep in mind that the Ministry of Fairies is in charge of everything related with fairies. Dorothea does not have the jurisdiction to take the Black Fairy Tomb into their own hands. Once they transfer it back to the capital, they need to immediately give it up to the Ministry of Fairies. So they would have gotten it anyways. Why was it needed? Why were they needed to intercept this? That made, like, I don't know, and like it hurts my brain just thinking about this. I have no idea what the author is thinking at this point. And not to mention, right, why, like, if they were just trying to get it and run, they could have easily done so, and yet, you know, they had to leave someone behind. They left as somebody who's potentially got captured. Not to mention that he's even using the the exact ferry that one of their comrades were using, Oz. Right? Like, you're basically begging for them to try and capture this dude and try to interrogate him to see, you know, where his ferry came from, like how deep does this conspiracy go. And it was also the only reason why they were able to link it to the Ministry of Ferries in the first place, right? So, like, I don't know, man. That's just a lot of bad decisions, one after another. The only thing, like, the only kind of possibility that I feel might make some kind of sense is, we know before, right, in episodes past, that Wolfran was working with Ray Dawn, right? So potentially he could be sort of double-crossing the Ministry of Ferries here. And really he's deliberately giving up these kinds of evidence or whatnot in order to lead Dorothea to the Ministry of Ferries. That could have been a conspiracy between him and Ray Dawn. That is literally the only method where I think this would make some semblance of logical sense, right? Otherwise, there was absolutely no need for them to do it like this, and it's basically just a Deus Ex Machina to try to allow the protagonist to get these clues and eventually lead their investigation into the Ministry of Ferries, right? So yeah, that's like, out of everything, a lot of things that I've been seeing in the series so far, I've tried to give it the benefit of doubt, right? But here, not really buying it. Now, beyond that, like I said, there were a few good things here, right? Like, for instance, we finally got the clear answer in regards to fair possession. This is something that I've wondered since the first 2 or 3 episodes, right? We can clearly see that Maria is using a different method of gaining fairies from the others, and she's from this very special village that is very closely related with fairies, and there's a possibility that she herself is special, right? And here it's been revealed that not only her, Veronica and Ray Dawn are special as well, right? They can utilize fairy possession. Now, I thought this was actually something that was recorded in the Black Fairy Tomb, and that was the secret that was hidden into it. Apparently not, but still, it is a hidden secret, right? And like I've been suspecting, I do believe that this is maybe one of the reasons why Ray Dawn wants to destroy the village and everything associated with it, because he just wants to completely eliminate these kind of special people, this kind of special ability, right? I do believe that he is carrying out his own version of justice, and we simply haven't, it simply hasn't been revealed to us what his true motives are, right? But I do believe that it's probably more benevolent than not. And speaking of that, we also get a little bit more character background on the Prime Minister, right? So, I've said this before, and if you guys so they never properly explained this within the anime, but if you guys go to the website or you go to Twitter or whatnot, they do have a little bit more flavor text in regards to Prime Minister, how he was basically, the winner of the Great War, and yet at the very end he did not choose to crown himself and declare himself the overall emperor, but instead he ceded all military power and whatnot, and decide to reside as a prime minister instead, working under the emperor here, and really working within the jurisdiction of law, right? He's not just declaring a dictatorship or something. He's still operating within the the defined bureaucratic government functions and roles here. So I've always felt that this prime minister was a pretty decent dude. It's just that so far within the anime, he's never really been given his just dues, right? Especially since we can see that he's clearly having a problem with revolts all over the place. Out of the original 5 dukes of the new United Zessia, 4 of them have revolted and been killed and whatnot, and only Ray Dawn is remaining. So it seems that he's really having a hard time taking grasp of this country, right? Making peace within the country, but still we can see here that at least his heart is clearly in the right place here. So I did like that they finally gave him his just dues at near the end of this series, right? And not only the Prime Minister, but also 3 as well, right? So within this episode, his talk with Maria here, I actually did like, compared to his previous talks, I feel like this one had much more substance here. They're really laying out what they truly feel about these things. Now, personally, I would have felt that, Frisch probably should have been talking about these convictions and discussing this with Maria like way before. This is in episode 19 now. We've known since episode 12 that this is what Free was fighting for, right? Because at the end of the first core, with the assassination plot and whatnot, the I forgot his name already, but the assassin, the one who was controlling the artificial fairy soldiers, he was questioning Free why he's working under this new emperor, right? Why he's working under this new empire? Doesn't he want to revive the old kingdom that he was a part of? And so Free answered here, right? Free already answered at that time that he, this is a peaceful country. This is a peaceful time already. We don't need to go back to the days of bloodshed. And that's something that he holds in conviction. And honestly, that's something that should have been brought up when he was dealing with Wolfran as well, right? A few episodes back. We know that he has this clear conviction already, so why did it take so long to bring this back up and to reaffirm this, right? So I did like how they did mention it. I just felt that it would have been better if it could have been moved a bit forward. And so, we can emphasize, we can relate with Free more, we can cheer for him and root for him more, instead of right now when we're literally near the end of the series. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Next episode, I'm expecting the Ministry of Fairies. They probably have some tricks up their sleeve. It's probably not going to be such a simple case of Dorothea just, waltzing in and apprehending them, right? Potentially, they have their own fairies as well. Perhaps they've even gotten some, made some progress as to using some forbidden techniques from the Black Fairy Tomb or something of that sort, right? So, probably going to be seeing some big fights in the next episode. There we go. That's my review of Fairy Gone episode 19. Hope you guys liked it. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.